Before recess ended, one of the little kids would need the outhouse, and I could make my escape with my dignity intact. That's when I heard Miss Johansson ring the bell, calling everyone back inside. The playground grew quiet as the children returned to the one-room schoolhouse that doubled as a church on Sundays. Pa said we'd burn in hell for sure if we worshipped with the Protestants, but one Sunday morning, when I was 8 and Pa was sleeping off a bender, I slipped out and sat under the oak tree just behind the school, out of sight from any window. I could hear the people singing about Amazing Grace and wondered what was so amazing about it. I hadn't seen anything amazing from any of them. Didn't they know they were doing the devil's work? Now that I was 12, I wondered how it could be possible that my Pa was the only one in all of Bleak Landing who was right about God. When the singing ended that day, I heard someone dismiss the children 10 and under for their Sunday school lesson. They filed outside and gathered in the shade of the apple tree, flanking the playground. I scooted behind my oak and peeked around it. The teacher was Victor Harrison's mother. I recognized her from the times Pa sent me to their farm to buy eggs. I always hoped Victor wouldn't be around when I arrived, and usually he wasn't. The one time he was, he mostly ignored me. That was also the time I wasn't watching where I stepped. I got all the way back to the road with my dozen eggs and tripped over a big old tree root sticking out of the ground. The eggs went flying from their basket, and my dress tore when I tried to catch myself. I could feel blood seeping through the stocking that covered my left knee, but it wasn't the knee I worried about. Every last one of them eggs was broken, and I knew Pa was going to beat the clumsy out of me. I sat there wondering how I could manage to dodge hell if I stole 2 or 3 eggs from each farm I passed on the way home. Mrs. Harrison came running. "Are you all right?" she asked. "Yes, ma'am, but I've broken the eggs." I bit my lip to keep the tears from showing and refused to look at her. "Let's have a look at that leg." I lifted my skirt and lowered my stocking. A cut as long as my little finger crossed my knee, and bits of wool stuck to the blood congealing there. "Don't fuss about the eggs. You come with me." I looked up at her. What was she going to do? "I'm fine, ma'am." I pulled the stocking back over my knee and stood to leave. "Bridget, please, let me clean that knee up and get you some more eggs." "I haven't any more money." "Don't you worry about that. I can find more eggs. Truth is, the hens are laying more than I can keep up with right now. You'd be doing me a favor. And I sure don't want to lose your pa's business now, do I?" I looked around to see if Victor was within sight, but saw no sign of him. I picked up my egg basket and followed Mrs. Harrison to her house. "Victor!" she called out. The boy's face appeared from around the corner of the house. I looked away. "Please sweep up those broken eggs and run them over to Mr. Berg's pigs before they attract some varmint." I thought for sure Victor would argue, the way he always did with the teacher, but he obeyed his mother without protest. Mrs. Harrison led me inside and directed me to sit on one of 8 matching kitchen chairs. I'd never seen such a thing before. In fact, I got so caught up in the surroundings, I hardly noticed her cleaning up my knee, even when she applied something that stung. The Harrisons' farmhouse was neat and tidy, furnished with pretty curtains and rugs. From my seat in the kitchen, I could see part of the living room, in which stood a sofa and matching chair, both decorated with finely embroidered pillows and crocheted doilies. I could almost hear Pa telling me to put my eyes back in my head before they popped clear out. Mrs. Harrison wrapped a strip of clean white cloth around my knee and tied it in a knot. When Victor's sister Peggy came in, Mrs. Harrison instructed her to fill a glass with water for me. I watched in wonder as she used a small pump right there by the kitchen sink and then handed me the glass. I drank it all. Mrs. Harrison sent Peggy to the hen house with my basket. "Make sure you find a full dozen," she told her. "While we're waiting, I'll mend your stocking, Bridget." Before I could protest, the woman grabbed her sewing basket and began to darn the hole in my stocking. I hadn't even noticed her pulling it all the way off my leg. "You want to soak this in cold